Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again. Monday, June the 9th. We are here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And on Mondays, we look at cozy mysteries. Every day of the week, we look at a different genre. On Mondays, it's cozy mysteries. On Tuesdays, it's mysteries and thrillers or crime fiction and thrillers. On Wednesdays, it's romance and women's fiction. Thursdays is fantasy and science fiction. And Friday is Freeform Friday. We look at whatever I want to look at, which is mostly the rest of the cozy mysteries from Monday because there's always a lot of them. Hope you had a good weekend. Good morning, Emily. How are you doing? Enjoying your summer? Your summer break? All right. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. My next sprints are tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's jump into cozy mysteries because there's always a lot of them. Botanist's Guide to Rituals and Revenge, fourth in the Saffron Everly Mysteries by Kate Kavari. I did read the first one. I have not gotten back to it. Oh, TBR list, you are forever. Saffron Everly returns to Ellington Manor after her grandfather suffers a heart attack. Back in her childhood home for the first time in years, Saffron faces tense family relationships made worse by the presence of the enigmatic drinking game. I want to ban that word. Bill Wyatt, hired on as a doctor to the ailing Lord Easting, but the man is no doctor. In reality, he's a mysterious figure involved in the trafficking of dangerous government secrets, and his presence at Ellington can only mean trouble. When their neighbors, the Hales, invite a spiritual medium into the village who starts angling for Saffron's mother's attention, Saffron realizes that there is more afoot in her hometown than she originally thought, not to mention inviting Alexander to Ellington, who has put their budding relationship under her family's microscope. As tensions rise, sorry, Keo laid down next to me, which made the table go. As tensions rise at Ellington, Bill demands that Saffron hand over old research documents belonging to her late father. With the relatives under his power as their doctor, Saffron fears she may be forced to surrender the files along with her hopes of ever understanding her father's obscure legacy. Nothing and no one is as they seem at Ellington. It's through the perfumed haze of the seance's smoke that Saffron must search for the truth before it's too late. Good morning, Kim. How are you? How was your weekend? She says, finish The Cat Who Robbed a Bank last night. Yay! We'll finish The Making of a President 1960 today. You're on a roll. Good job. A Murder for Miss Hortense by Mel Pennant. Retired nurse, avid gardener, and renowned cake maker, Miss Hortense has lived in Biggleswade, a quiet suburb of Birmingham, England, since she emigrated from Jamaica in 1960. She takes great pride in her home, starching her lace curtains bright white, and she can tell if she's being, that would be bleached, wouldn't it? If she's being shortchanged on turmeric before she's taken her first bite of a beef patty. A career in nursing has also left her afraid of nobody, whether an interfering priest or a local drug dealer, and she's an expert in deciphering other people's secrets with just a glance. Miss Hortense once used her skills to benefit the Partner Network, a local group of Black investors who she helped found. Until that is, she was unceremoniously ousted from its ranks, severing her ties to the majority of her friends in her community. That was 30 years ago. Now, as a new millennium dawns, an unidentified man has been found dead in the home of one of the Partner members, a Bible quote written on a note beside his body. Suddenly, Miss Hortense finds her long-buried past rushing back, bringing memories of the worst moment of her life and secrets behind an unsolved crime that has haunted her for decades. It is finally time for Miss Hortense to solve a mystery that will see her and the community she loves pushed to their limits. This is a first novel in a series, it is indicating. So you can get in on the beginning. And then weekend was okay, rainy, overcast today. We are going to be hot today. Hot, hot, hot. Going to be in the 90s. But then it drops to 80s and 70s throughout the week. But we got to get through today. Death of the Hula Girl. This is 25th in the Aloha Lagoon Mysteries series by Catherine Bruns. After a brief brush with Hollywood and fame, Carrie Jorgensen is happy to be back in her adopted hometown of Aloha Lagoon, Hawaii, serving up pineapples and poi to her beloved regular customers and vacationing tourists alike at the Loco Moco Cafe. She's once again surrounded by good friends, her fur baby Benny, and reunited with her true love, Keanu. But all is not perfect in paradise. Shortly after Carrie's happy homecoming, Keanu's gorgeous ex-girlfriend, Tammy, shows up. See, Tammy, she's bad news. A name like that. Shows up for the Aloha Lagoon's weekly luau, ready to hula dance her way into everyone's hearts. Carrie can't help but feel a little intimidated by her graceful moves and obvious charm. However, when Tammy collapses at the end of her dance, things go from awkward to awful. Suddenly, the luau is a crime scene and everyone is a suspect in the death of the hula girl. To make matters worse, Tammy was holding a secret over Keanu's head, which shoots him straight to the top of the suspect list. Carrie will need to stay cool, stand by her man, and prove his innocence before their lives erupt like a volcano. Delicious Hawaiian recipes included. But this is like the 25th book. She's running out of recipes, I would think, if she puts too many. Grave Words by Jerry Lewis, second in a Deadly Deadlines mystery series. Winter Snow has had it. With her business in a death drought, her best friend Scoop implicated in a string of arsons, and obituary listing Winter herself as deceased, her life is heating up. But just as she's trying to cool things down, she receives her newest assignment, an obituary for Chester, a homeless man found in a burning building. Promising the local funeral home manager that she will have the obituary by the deadline, Winter is stonewalled at every turn, failing to discover Chester's last name or where he came from. When it is discovered that Chester was murdered and that the fire is set to cover it up, all fingers immediately point to Scoop. Not only is Scoop a person of interest in the arsons, he was also the last person to see Chester alive. As more nails are pounded into Scoop's coffin, Winter's uncle Richard hopes to help by inviting the notorious town gossips, the Nosy Parkers, to a neighborhood food fest. Unfortunately, the breadcrumbs that they toss set murder in motion. End of row 1. Making Friends Can Be Murder by Kathleen West. It feels like kismet when Sarah Jones, her newly relocated to Minneapolis after abruptly calling off her engagements, gets invited to join a group of women who share her same very common name. For years, Sarah has received all types of correspondence intended for different Sarah Joneses, but now it seems that this mistake has given her the opportunity for an instant community. What starts as a low-stakes meetup called the Sarah Jones Project soon turns sinister when another local Sarah Jones is found dead under suspicious circumstances at the base of the downtown Minneapolis bridge. After fielding numerous calls from concerned loved ones ruling out their Sarah as the victim, the surviving Sarahs decide to take matters into their own hands. Aided by the dead woman's nanny, a newly commissioned and very handsome and eligible FBI agent, and a cloistered nun with a complicated past, the motley crew of unlikely friends are determined to get to the bottom of the murder of one of their own. Welcome to Murder Week by Karen Dukas. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? I am good. Happy Monday. Happy Monday indeed. Did you go to the bookstore like you were hoping to? Was that with your mom? When 34-year-old Kath loses her mostly absentee mother, she's ambivalent. With days of quiet, unassuming routine in Buffalo, New York, Kath consciously avoids the impulsive, thrill-seeking lifestyle that her mother once led. But when she's forced to go through her mother's things one afternoon, Kath is perplexed to find tickets for an upcoming murder week in England's Peak District. A whole town has come together to stage a fake murder mystery to attract tourism to their quaint hamlet. Baffled but helplessly intrigued by her mother's secret purchase, Kath decides to go on the trip herself and begins a journey she never could have anticipated. Teaming up with her two cottage mates, both ardent mystery lovers, Wyatt Green, 40, who works unhappily in his husband's birding store, and Amity Clark, 50, a divorced romance writer struggling with her novels, Kath sets about solving the crime and begins to unravel shocking truths about her mother along the way. Amidst a fling, or something more, with the handsome local maker of artisan gin, Kath and her irresistibly charming fellow sleuths will find this week a fake murder may help them face up to a very real crossroads in their own life. But is there a real murder? Summer Scallops and Murder by Donna Clancy, 5th in the Shipwreck Cafe Mysteries. It's August, and the first annual Scallop Festival is taking place on Anchor Point. You can't have a first annual. You can have an inaugural, but you can't have a first annual. The second would be an annual. After all the vendor spots are filled, a local Mrs. Opal applies too late to sell her catering dishes but demands a spot anyway. When her request is refused, she picks fights with Jay anywhere she sees him in town. Just days before the festival is set to begin, Mrs. Opal is found in Jay's front yard, dead. Suspicion points directly at the cafe owner because of the tension between the two and the public fights that locals have witnessed. Another vendor who sells pies is attacked. The world of cooking is a fierce place to survive, but someone is doing their best to be the best, taking out anyone who gets in their way. Marjoram and Murder, 11th in the Willowmere Cozy Mysteries. This is by Corrine Winters. The orchard remembers, and it's done waiting. Autumn in Willowmere means heirloom apples, lanterns, and secrets ripe for picking. When a visiting pomologist is found dead beneath the pink pearl tree, locals whisper accident. Maeve Everhart hears the orchard hum, low, angry, and alive. The cellar was breached, the knife was wiped clean, and the land is pulsing with old magic tangled in legacy, ambition, and something someone killed to protect. With a judgmental cat, a quiet woodworker, and roots that don't lie, Maeve must follow the soil's whispers before another body drops. Because some fruit bears blood, and the orchard never forgets. Well, if you're looking for something creepy for Halloween, perhaps that. End of that row. Emily says, I'm enjoying 2-month-long weekend. Yes, except the AC. Oh, no, it has to be on because we continue to have air quality in the unhealthy range from the Canadian fires. Yep, we are also smoky. It's us as it goes on to you. Elena says, yes, I went to the open books yesterday, and it was at the Northridge Mall. I did not go to the library book sale on Saturday. I went to Starbucks 2 days ago. I got a summer berry drink blended. Oh, I bet that was good. And Elena says, I only got a few books. But you got some. That's awesome. Mary says, good morning. Happy Monday. Sorry to be late. Had to get ready for an appointment at 9. How is Steve? Hope all is well. The hand surgery went very well. It was a rough weekend otherwise, but yeah, it went very, very well. Thank you for asking. And how was your weekend, Miss Mary? Snakes on a Cruise by A.R. Winters, 21st in the Cruise Ship Cozy Mysteries. When Adrienne James is assigned to be part of the emergency crew on board the Trumpeter, she's hopeful it'll be an easy job. Instead, she finds a wildly unexpected reptilian surprise, a high-stakes murder no one else wants to solve, a PR nightmare that no filter can fix. With her bestie by her side, a knack for nosiness, and a growing list of suspicious shipmates, Addie is determined to get to the bottom of it, preferably before she becomes part of the story. Danger never looked this fabulous, is the tagline. Dandy Distress by T. Thorne Coyle, part of Pride Street Paranormal Cozy Mysteries. Welcome to Pride Street. Garrett's old nemesis shows up with a request that sends our intrepid crew on a wild chase through the world of opera, theater, intrigue, and crime. A costume designer has disappeared, and danger is in the autumn air. Marcia and Klaus are back on the case. Follow our intrepid corgis as they solve crimes. Hey, Mary, the corgis are crime solvers. Put your babies to work. In this colorful rainbow of neighborhood filled with more local color than drag queen's makeup box. Watching Woods. Mary says quiet was supposed to go to a black bear. That's right, on Saturday, but rained all day, so didn't attend. Probably a good idea. Rained on and off all day on Sunday, too. That's napping and reading and movie watching weather and cuppa somethings. Kim says my pastor's wife had her surgery yesterday morning. Now they have to get her prepared for the trip home. Oh, hope it went well or she recovers very well. That's sometimes even harder. Watching Woods by T.E. Harkins, third in the Raven's Wing Irish Murder Mysteries. Cupid isn't the only one aiming for the heart. When American journalist Savannah Jeffers arrives in the postcard-perfect Irish village of Carrigaven to cover its famous matchmaking festival, she's hoping for happy endings, not homicide. But before she can even check into her hotel, she starts hearing rumors of a murder. A woman has, reportedly, been killed in the woods behind Abbey Wood Manor. There's just one problem. The supposed victim is still very much alive. The local guards seem all too eager to brush the whole thing off. Just a prank, they say, a bad joke, the mad ravings of a drunken Irishman. Savannah isn't convinced, especially when a real body shows up in the very same woods. With thousands of hopeful singles flooding the village, Savannah finds herself caught in a dangerous game where everyone has secrets and nothing is what it seems. Someone at the festival isn't looking for love, they're out for blood, and not everyone will make it out of the festival alive. A Very Elegant Murder. Miss Busby Investigates Book Number 4 by Karen Baum Manuhin and Zoe Markham. Set amidst the picturesque Cotswolds, Hamnet Hall Hotel is known for its elegance, charm, and the annual spectacle of its Halloween ball, a night of glamour and revelry. Everything's being October. We just hit June. I know they do ahead. I know, I get it, but still, it's like we're just beginning to taste summer. But this year's celebration takes a dark turn when Mrs. Olivia Fortescue collapses mid-waltz, her heart giving out at the stroke of midnight. Her untimely, coroner would be hard. What day did she actually die on? Her untimely death sparks whispers of foul play, as Olivia had yet to finalize her will, leaving a fortune in limbo and potential heirs vying for a share. With rumors of murder swirling, Detective Inspector McKay arrives from Oxford to investigate, but it's the shrewd Miss Busby and the ever-determined Mrs. Adeline Fanshawe who will hold the key to unraveling the truth as they delve into the secrets hidden within the stately walls of Hamnet Hall. A genteel mystery unfolds where nothing is quite as it seems. End of that row. Prose, Pores, and Poison, second in the Honeysuckle Bend Cozy Mystery Series by Lisa Peavy. Callie had such high hopes for the big book talk, little did she know it would end in disaster. Running a B&B can be tough, like when a famous book collector drops dead in the middle of your grand opening. Suddenly, Callie finds herself wrapped up in a literary murder that's anything but fiction. With her bestie Maya running for town council, her maybe boyfriend Josh acting sketchy, and her dog Smokey more interested in squirrels than catching a killer, as a dog should. Callie's got to make a go of it on her own. Between small town politics, secret pasts, and literary lies, it's going to take more than bubble tea to crack this case. What happens when the late book collector's most priceless tome goes missing? What is Maya's political opponent doing in the dead man's room? And who is the creepy writer staying in the B&B? Whoopie Pies and Alibis. Main Campground Cozy Mystery, book number 2 by Nikki Weber. Noelle Cooper feels like she's drowning in a glass of water. While everyone around her is excited about a famous internet baker coming to town, Noelle is focused on making amends with her cousin Liz, keeping her family's campground from going bankrupt, and launching her new career. The key to it all might just be the whoopie pie competition that she's planning, but when a dead body turns up in the worst place imaginable, Noelle's plans are blown out of the water. After Trooper Thompson, the infuriating and untrustworthy state police officer in charge of the investigation, makes it impossible for campers to come and go, Noelle finds herself trapped inside the campground and racing the clock to find the murderer before the big baking event. As Noelle and her loyal beagle Corny trudge through rain and mud trying to piece together clues, they must navigate a boatload of tricky situations and the arrival of unexpected guests. Can Noelle find the killer in time to hold the whoopie pie competition, or is she in over her head? I don't think we're going to have time for another one. So everybody remember, we stopped on the whoopie pies. That says, good morning, I watch every day. Oh, thank you, but usually miss a live. Just want to say hi. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the live. Early morning. Mary says, hi, Beth, welcome. So glad you're able to make the live today. Indeed. And Elena says, see you tomorrow. All right, honey, you have a good day. All right, so our next sprints are tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow's morning show is crime fiction and thrillers, the darker side. Hope you have a good Monday. Thank you guys so much. You're in my heart. And Elena says, I leave next Thursday morning. No work next Thursday. Wow. Well, that sounds like something fun's going to happen. Mary says, thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great day and hope to see you tomorrow morning. I hope so too. Kim says, who was the author of that last one? It was the Whoopie Pies one. Let's see. Nikki Weber. That one? Nikki Weber. Emily says, hope everyone has a calm, stress-free day. Thank you. I hope so too. Kim says, have a great day. And thanks. All righty. Well, thank you, everybody. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom. Have a good day and God bless.